Hi, this is Natalie with Vitiligo Friends coming live to you from St. Louis, Missouri. A beautiful rainy day today. I love rain, so it worked out great. Joanne is here with me today, and we are going to discuss a great book called Four Agreements, and we're going to talk about living with the Four Agreements, what it is, and how to use that as part of your lifestyle of living with vitiligo, because, let's face it, we have a lifestyle that we've developed, and so we need to live with that. Our sponsor is Vitiligo Cover Lotion, and that's shop.vitiligocover.com. The call-in number, if you'd like to share a story or ask any questions, you're more than welcome to call in. We'd love to hear from you. The number is 1-858-769-4727. 1-858-769-4727, and the number is written out on the Facebook page if you need to see that more, and that's facebook.com Vitiligo Friends, just one word. You can look that up. You can just do a search on it also. So today, I'd say my guest, but you're more like the co-host now. Thank goodness. Joanne Giovanni.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Like the way you said the name, too.
Joanna Giovanni.
And I'm very excited about our topic today. I think that's awesome. It sounds like it has some great tools and information for anybody to use, actually, about feeling better about yourself.
It really is. It really is. And I loved the book. The first time I read it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I actually used it for different reasons, just like my personal side of my life, not anything to do with my vitiligo.
Mm-hmm.
And but I had someone with vitiligo from the Facebook, a Facebook friend from our Vitiligo Friends page, had emailed me that she was having some issues with being very unhappy living with vitiligo, almost to the point where she just didn't want to live anymore. And so I suggested that my first suggestion was to read the Four Agreements, because the reason that it's so hard living with vitiligo is not so much that how we feel about looking at our skin like that. It's more the fear of what we're projecting to the outside world and what we take from that.
Okay, how you perceive that.
And how we perceive that. And so the Four Agreements is actually a book about that. It's written by a man called Don Miguel Ruiz, and it's a bestseller book. It's small. It's a real quick read, but packed with just phenomenal ideas. And so that's why I'm really excited to share it with everybody. I'm going to have a link on the website with that'll take you over to Amazon. So if you want to buy the book, then you can get it there. They sell it new and used. You can even get it from your library too. And there's an audio that goes with it, and then there's also a workbook that goes with it too, so you can work through your issues and really develop your own lifestyle using these Four Agreements after having written everything out, in the workbook and stuff. It's really nice. So what are the Four Agreements? What it was to me was agreements that we've made with ourselves. In other words, from the time that we're young, we hear how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to act, what we can and can't do with our lives, and or what people think of us. If you were a little kid and people called you fatty, whatever, or they made fun of your name. These things became a part of us, not like people, how you talk about carrying around baggage,
mm-hmm.
and it's sort of like that, I guess, but it's where we've made an agreement with ourselves that, yes, I accept what this person says about me. And that's what we need to break those agreements, the negative ones, and make new agreements with ourselves.
And can I just say right here, too, a lot of that is based on consequence. Like, if I act this way, somebody's going to react back to me. So sometimes it's a reward and a consequence kind of thing. Yeah. I know I can't have a tantrum in the middle of the mall when I'm 6 years old because my mom's going to drag me out of there. So a lot of the things you've learned is because of the reaction from other people, or their, not even reaction, but their reception of what you're putting off. So if by calling you a name or whatever, they see that reaction, you take and own that reaction. And so, yeah, it's kind of like you have made that personal agreement, and it's hard because you started when you're young. It's really hard to break that. Your brain stores that away and remembers that.
Absolutely. It becomes our automatic reaction.
Right.
Just like when you have vitiligo, and we discussed this on our last show, that when somebody looks at my hand, my first thought used to be, oh, my God, they're looking at my vitiligo, instead of, oh, they must be noticing my ring, because that's an agreement I made with myself, is that vitiligo is not pretty. It is a curiosity and judged. And so to break that, to feel happier, I made an agreement with myself. I told myself that's not the truth, because I don't know what's in that person's head.
Right.
My new truth, my new agreement with myself is to not assume the worst.
Yeah.
I can either say something or not say something when they look at my hand. I can, explain it depending on how I feel about the situation, or I can just assume in my heart that they're looking at the ring just as they would look at your ring, and you don't have any vitiligo on your hand. That's what they're doing. And boy, am I happier now. Once I've made that new agreement and I've said to myself, this is my truth, then you can go on. All right, so let's start with Don Miguel's 4 agreements that you need to make with yourself. The first one is be impeccable with your word. I love this one. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Negative thinking is what you want to avoid in this one, obviously, when we're talking about vitiligo, because we're not going to gossip about other people. This is not what. But what we can take from that is that chatter that goes on in your head. Change it. Only speak goodness to yourself and love yourself. What do you think?
Yeah, and sometimes it's real hard to remember that the words that are coming out of your mouth talk about you as well. So if you're already defensive about what you think someone's doing, the words are going to portray that. So you have to be really careful with really say what you mean and mean what you say. So if you feel like someone's staring at your hands or your face or whatever, ask them very politely or tell them, educate them, like we talked about in your other show. So speaking the truth, I think, is key, not only to go onward with this journey, but to make it peaceful and to have that truth inside of you. Does that make sense? To know that truth inside of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, taking it even far outside of the vitiligo venue, how many times have we had a situation that we're living in that instead of just being truthful and saying what we mean to the other person, we don't say anything. We hold in anger or hold in frustration rather than just saying, hey, like that time where I have a huge problem with, this is my own pet peeve, but with gum chewing. You can chew with your mouth open, you can chew with your mouth closed. Whatever it is, it gets under my skin for some reason. And I remember one time, when you were over here, don't look at me like something's wrong.
I'm like, I chew gum.
I know, but it doesn't bother me in that because we've already discussed it, and you don't eat, you don't chew with your mouth open. A lot of people do, and that's what really gets me. But do you remember that time when I was like, because I didn't say anything, because it's not your problem. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not. But finally, I was just like, man, this is stupid for me to be, feeling any kind of upsetness because you're chewing gum. So I just said, hey, Joanne, would you mind that when we're doing, the show, to not chew gum because it's my own problem, but for some reason it bothers me? And you were like, yeah, sure. Now, I never said anything because I didn't know if that was going to sound mean or if that would, and you're just like, yeah, whatever. And so that was just like so much easier to be open about something than to just hold it in and not say anything. And wouldn't you rather know? The other person would much rather know if something that you're doing is an issue than to think that the other person that's your friend is like bothered by something.
And trust me, I really wasn't bothered. No, I'm kidding.
I thought you were going to say, and trust me, I've got a list of things for you. Because you may very well at that. But no, I think that's something that, because having thoughts about things and holding it in, and I'm not talking about expressing every thought that's in your head, because we don't all need to do that. But there's certain things that you can express to have an open dialogue with people.
And do it on the flip way. I mean, let's just reverse that. You can say things that something's annoying you, or you're trying to be honest about, something that's grating on your nerves. But think about the person who isn't strong enough in their own confidence or whatever, that say things that they don't mean, but they're agreeing with you. Like, oh, don't you like? And you're like, yeah, even though you really don't.
That's true.
And because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings,
yep.
You may go along with that. Let's just say a guy asks you out and says, want to go to the football game with me, and you hate football. But you're like, yeah, I love football or whatever, and you go.
Oh, sure.
Months later, you wind up breaking up with them, and you don't like football, but you were never honest in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you really can draw the wrong people into your life by being too nice and being an agreeer, a little people pleaser, or by not being honest. And so yeah, it kind of goes both ways.
So that the first agreement is to not agree. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Really true.
First agreement, be impeccable with your words.
Yeah.
And most of all, please take from that negative chatter in our head. Stop berating yourself. Stop judging yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. And, be forgiving of yourself. Oh, gosh, this is a big one. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. I don't know about that part. I don't really get, because we're all in our reality, right? But I guess how they perceive the world.
Okay.
And so their projection is how they're perceiving that moment. I think I like that better. When you are... Let me tell him how to rewrite his best-selling book.
Here,
right. Yeah, who am I? When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So I guess that goes right back to somebody looking at your hand, somebody looking at your friend's chest, and immediately thinking they're having negative thoughts about you. Don't assume that. Don't assume don't take things personally.
And a lot of times, even if someone just says something to you, we take it to be such a emotional thing when it's just a comment. Whether it's I'm the worst at that. Yeah, you take it to heart like it's just if that doesn't work, that means it doesn't work for me. You don't like me.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah, and I think that's telling you, come on, don't do that. Just stop. If they say a comment about you, about anything, even a project. If something doesn't work or your project failed, doesn't mean you failed. That's not it. So if you take things so personally all the time, it's just too much wear and tear on our little bodies and our emotions. And when we do not follow, certain things, and these 4 agreements are just to make your life easier. And frankly, when we don't do these things, or I guess when we when we don't do what these 4 agreements are saying, then that beats ourselves up. We just hurt ourselves. And then what does that do? Brings our immune system down. Stress level up. And then what happens? Vitiligo can spread. If it is, in fact, due to stress,
mental and physiological stress, then then you're just going to be causing more vitiligo potentially.
You're opening that door.
Yeah. And so this is really good stuff then to avoid that. Okay. Number 3, don't make assumptions. I'm really good at this one.
You've been good at all of them.
Well, I mean, I'm really good at. I do make assumptions.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very good at
using yourself as an example.
Yeah, okay. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. That is so true. You do have to be careful, though. On one point, I completely agree with this, that if somebody says something, that it's probably imperative that if you take it in a way that you feel like that is going to affect your personality, your relationship with them, you could feel threatened. And so because we avoid that, we assume that something bad is going to happen, and it would be so much easier to just ask a question. Oh, well, did you mean that you're wanting to break up with me? Or did you mean that you're not happy? And that's very good. However, you really do have to take this on a case-by-case basis, don't you? Because asking questions to certain people who may be in your life or who may come into your life just for temporary reasons, when you are kind like that and you seem like you're just wanting to understand what they're saying, that can come across as being kind of, not wishy-washy, but a pushover.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because like if you said or not you, but like if somebody who has a narcissistic personality, and you say, oh, you know what, I don't really like when you treat me like that, so let's, they'll be like, good, now I've got another way. So I guess we really need to, how can we go about asking questions when we communicate with somebody and say it in a way that's not
allowing them to feel like they have the upper hand.
We'll answer that in 1 second. Right now we're going to go to our caller. And let me see if I can get it on air. Hang up, info caller. Let's see. I'm trying to click on you, so let's see. On air, here we go. Hello? Hello, you're on the air. Are you there, caller? I don't know, maybe they can't hear me. I can hear something.
Can you turn your volume up?
Yeah, the volume's up.
Okay.
Volume's up. Well, I'm so sorry if you're waiting there. Caller's on the air. I'll try one more time. Let's see the caller info. Nope, cancel. Try one more time. You're on the air? Hello, this is Natalie. I don't know if I can hear something or not.
I can, but
Oh, I'm so sorry I can't hear you. Well, try back again. Maybe this line just got messed up for whatever reason. Sorry about that. All right, so I guess now we'll go to answer that question. What can we do that when we want to ask questions to clarify a situation rather than make the assumption, how can we do that in a way that doesn't reflect negatively on us, that it looks as though it's an empowering move rather than a submissive move?
Yeah, that's very good.
Ooh, I like that one.
Now you have to come up with the phrase for that.
All right, I will. Except you got to answer it.
Well, no, I was just going to say, maybe you can have a phrase in mind like, let me see if I get this straight, or is this what you meant by that?
Am I getting the wrong? You're saying to me.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something.
Although that could sound a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. How can one say that?
But you do want to make it be like, I need to understand this. I want to know where you're coming from, kind of thing. So
well, I guess that if someone says something that you're not understand, well, that you want to clarify their meaning, because sometimes people's words are not the same as their intonation, you know, and so if something is bringing a red flag up and you do want to clarify, I suppose you do kind of need to be, it is a little bit of a defensive move. So I guess
You can still do it the right way and the wrong way, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
One
and
can
I think
come across as too defensive, but I guess if you just say, "Oh, did you mean blah blah blah," or are you trying to? How could you say that?
Well, I think it depends who.
Help
too.
me.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it depends who. If it's you, I'm going to go, Natalie. That didn't sound right. Did you mean that to be whatever? If it's a stranger, I don't think I'm going to say it quite the same way. But I think you really do just want to have them break it down.
Let's say stranger, because what we're talking about is vitiligo, and let's say that somebody asks them, "Oh, did you get burned?" So then, what can one say? I know that that's a big one that people.
Well, I would just answer the question. In that case, I would be like,
okay,
"Oh
well,
no, as a matter of
I
fact."
guess that was a bad example.
Because that was very to the point.
Is something wrong with you?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your skin? How about that one?
Okay, that's better.
What's wrong with your skin? Now answer me. How should I say that without being too defensive, but clarify what you mean by wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. How would you answer that if I said that to you?
Okay, go ahead and say it to me. Let's see what pops out.
What's wrong with your skin?
Pop. No, that was my fist going to her shoulder. Just kidding. Let's see. Okay, say it again and let me try.
What's wrong with your skin?
Oh, did you mean the white patches on my skin? What the issue is with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very good.
So then what I did was turned it from the white patches on my skin being a negative to an issue, which is not a problem anymore. It's just an issue. You think that's good?
I think it would work for now.
Yeah.
That's something maybe we need to work on. Is that the second agreement?
That's the third agreement. Don't make assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess with that one, that's not really making an assumption. Man, I'm really going.
We really got off
on
track.
This one.
But it's okay. This was fun. We often do this anyway. I don't know why we act like it's such a surprise.
All right. Let's go to the fourth one. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Well, I mean, that's very true.
Mm-hmm. Do we have another caller?
But, no callers.
Oh, I thought that just blinked on. I was going to say, I hope we're not having a bunch of callers. I can't get through.
No, I've already tried 3 callers, and it's not working today for some reason. So if somebody else can try to call back in, we'll see if we can get you back on the air. Sorry about the issue with that today. Always do your best. And I guess we always do put our best foot forward, don't we, when we're trying something? I mean, even if it's just from folding the laundry, and getting the corners nice and neat and folding everything up properly to a big project and getting it done and on time. And
I think what this does is mentally that no matter if something succeeds, fails, it doesn't matter. You have done your best. There's times when you just do it halfway, or maybe you don't complete it as well, and then you feel bad about that later and think what that does to your whole psyche. And once again.
But I think that this is a good point. Your best is going to change from moment to moment, because some days I don't do as much as I could accomplish because I've got sinuses or I've got my allergies, so I'm a little bit sluggish, and so I guess what it's saying is be forgiving of yourself. Don't expect 100%
perfection.
Every single moment, every single task. Sometimes you don't want to do your dishes. So every time you pass by for the next couple of hours, you pass by your sink, do you berate yourself that you're lazy slump because you didn't do the dishes?
Or do you turn that around and say, I'll get to it later?
Yeah, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
And that's okay for me to get to it later. I don't feel like doing them right now. That's not harming anybody. There's no cockroaches coming up out of the...
Thank God.
Have you seen that TV show, Hoarders?
Yes. Oh.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what? Bring up the point in one of these agreements. I'm not sure which one. It talks about that. You are going to feel different whether you're healthy or sick.
That was that one right there.
Okay, good. And that, sometimes mentally you're not as sharp as other times. And it could be, like you said, whether you wake up and your sinuses are killing you, I have a migraine, whatever. It's going to change. And you do need to cut yourself some slack. I think that's a good thing to remember.
Another one that I just don't cut myself slack, and I should.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone needs to forgive themselves more. Or like, look how much I berated myself over the ginger root vitiligo experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne can tell you, I mean, it's no excuse for not being on top of it once I started it, but I would forget because you have to keep it refrigerated. You juice it, and then you have to keep it refrigerated. Well, guess what? You know what? I didn't think to go look in the refrigerator to see it and to remember to put it on. And I just got carried away with things throughout the day. And then at night I'd be like, or, you know, when I'm in bed, oh, my God, I can't believe I forgot to put that on again. I'm going to disappoint so many people. And because there's lots of people that write in that they're doing the experiment. They ask me how it's going. And then I have to explain to them that I've been
human. You are just human.
Being human.
Yeah.
Well, and accepting that. It's not lower your expectations of yourself by any means, because you do have to have that level of expectation to drive you forward to accomplish the things that you want to in your life. I mean, things don't just fall in your lap. You know, things are guided towards you to help you, but you have to be moving in that direction forward for that to come into your life.
Yeah, we're not saying lower your expectations. Keep your expectations high, but forgive yourself.
And you know what? By forgiving yourself, I think two of the biggest things, two of these are the easiest to do if you just relax on your expectations of yourself not being 100% all the time. And that is, don't make assumptions and always do your best. Those would be the easiest things because, you know, not assuming that things are going to fail or not assuming bad things are going to happen. You know, all these, doing that and then not lowering your expectations. How should I put that? But doing your best and forgiving yourself, those are going to lower your stress level. And again, help your vitiligo.
Yeah, the world will not end if you don't do something perfectly, or that minute, or that day.
Exactly.
You know, other than that book, we have a lot of good books and good, not only self-help books, but motivational books that we need to talk about.
Yeah. And we're going to, next week, we are going to talk about a book that is called Can't Shove a Great Life into a Small Dream. I'll have that information on the website, but that'll be something that we're going to discuss next week. And so you can prepare with that and then call in with questions or your point of view or how you've used what you read to better your life with vitiligo. Another project that Joanne and I are working on, and we are really excited about it, is our Vitiligo Retreat. We're going to be doing this each week. It's a video podcast, and it will be live, and we'll record it so you can pick it up if you missed the live version of it. But we'll be doing that through Skype live, and then it will be on YouTube, on our channel YouTube, which is, sorry about that, sculptmagazine.com is our channel on YouTube that you can find our videos. And on that, we are going to share stories and do some fun techniques together, one-on-one, where you can see us and talk with us, and then you can call in live, and
we'll be your partners.
We're your partners.
Yeah.
You know, you're not in this alone, and we're excited about this project being a video podcast, so you can see us, and if you want to join us on Skype, we can see you, and you know, build a friendship, and that's what it's all about. We'd like to thank you for joining us today. So sorry about not being able to take any of those calls. I'll have to check into that, so that won't happen again. Please visit us at Facebook, Vitiligo Friends. Do a search on that. VitiligoCover.com is our main website. And our sponsor is shop.vitiligocover.com. Thanks so much. And Joanne, we'll see you next week talking about our book. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.